Hello, everybody! Welcome to a new project I'm doing. I may sound different, that's because I'm not in my normal recording room. I am with someone else today.
Ooh.
Come on! You gonna say anything?
I'm supposed to say hi? You didn't say it's my mom.
I was just gonna say.
You should have introduced me. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry, podcast host leader thing.
You're supposed to go introducing my mom. Or I'd like everybody to meet my mom. See how that goes?
Well, actually, since we're nearing holiday season, and I figured it'd be nice, I include today my mother with me, the one who brought me into this world and will not let me leave the world.
Really?
I can't resist. I will be reading her Reddit stories, and to clarify here, my mother is doing some work while we're doing this. So if you hear keyboard, that's why. On top of that, my mom is not a Redditor. She never goes on Reddit.
No.
So
Never.
she has no idea what I'm reading her tonight. Meanwhile,
Nope.
I am a Redditor of the meme category, where I go in there for either tips or tricks or just a meme.
No. Not
What?
me.
Yeah. So today we'll be doing this, and I'll be reading these posts, and she can react. I figured it'd be a nice little change of things here on the channel, and to give me a break from constant suffering of Silent Hill and everything else.
You do that to yourself.
And I do not regret it.
Uh-huh.
Alright, as you can tell, we have a background up. I'll be saying the titles as we do it, and maybe I'll probably put in this too, quick text thing. Ooh, that is huge. Alright. The first post I will be reading comes from r/best of Redditor updates.
Okay. Bring it on.
How this works is the complete story of a post from every update included, all gathered in one place. What the fuck? Why'd you just go attack my door?
You okay? Don't listen to him. He's just mean.
We do have dogs here as well. Alright, let's begin. This is from r/best of Redditor updates, and the caption is Udirect by Udirect Caterpillar 77, and their tagline for gathering all this is Satan is not a fucking pogo stick.
What are you reading me?
Their tag.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what are you putting me through?
Okay, so to clarify, I will be calling the original poster OP. And this is through a couple things. OP will have comments throughout this. And to explain a little thing behind this as well, there is a bit of a trigger warning here in case anyone wants to not listen to this one. This involves addiction, financial exploitation as the two main things. Financial exploitation is where you hold money over somebody.
Oh, you mean what do I want to say that is?
Like a little closer to you.
I don't know. I talk the way I talk.
There we go, you're clear now.
Oh, look at that. I can't remember what the word is. Don't ask me.
Okay. There is a couple editor's notes. I'll be summing them up. This is about a game called Star Citizen. It's a early access game that isn't out yet, and you have to put money in to buy spaceships. Not in-game money, real money.
Okay.
So, be ready for this. And there is a comparison here I'm going to make at some point to another game that someone in this room had an addiction to with money.
Farmville?
Yes.
I liked it once upon a time, and then it just got boring.
Okay. So another thing here, prior to this post, he spent $5,000 on this thing. Let's see.
$5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000.
$5,000.
Wow. Okay.
Alright, so first off, I'd like to state that the original post is about the $5,000 he spent. It is unrecoverable according to this. He apparently asked, though, if anyone knew any ways to recover the money he spent because he was in trouble with his fiance.
$5,000's a lot of money to spend and not think your fiance is not going to be mad about it.
Yeah.
I mean, as a couple, hello.
He posted that one to Credit Advice on November 26, 2023. So this is a little bit of a year-old post. Comments are mainly them telling him to pay it back, and don't rack up debt. And this is one I like here. The fallen, pay back what you owe immediately and don't rack up a debt. Opie responded, but I needed the new ships. Frowny face.
There wasn't a need for them.
I will say this as someone who has also spent money on microtransactions. It's not a need.
No, it's a want. There's a difference.
Yeah, you have to know that fine line.
When you need something like air, you need it to live.
Yeah,
a want is just something that you want to have.
We're going to have the Lorax happen where they're charging us for air soon. So I'm just going to skip this. It was mainly him saying that he wanted the new ships. He's a wing commander, but he can't pay this month's rent.
This is called addiction.
This
is called, overkill of a game. I'm assuming he might even be the type that would be a gambler, maybe.
Based on the Credit Advice here. Now, we're not even to the major factor of this yet.
I don't know. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is that when it comes to this, I could see like a total amount, like $5 here, $5 there, like down the line.
Well, yeah, if it's just a simple little game.
But he spent $5,000 flat out on this, and we're not even to the major amount he spent yet. This is actually, according to the person calculator, this is the least amount he spent. Is $5,000. So let's get into the major story that is here. This was on January 3rd, 2024. Am I the asshole for breaking a needless promise after fixing a situation? A while back, my significant other and I hit a rough patch. I'm an avid player of Star Citizen, and admittedly, I tend to go overboard with it. Again, Star Citizen isn't even out yet. You can't play it either. You're just buying ships to look at.
So it's not even a game you play.
Exactly. I can understand, if you spend $100 on this big-ass Lego set of, the Titanic.
Okay.
That I can understand spending money on. It's not even out. You're just having it as a digital PNG on your computer.
Seriously?
It's basically an NFT, yeah. It isn't out. It's not even early playable access. You can just buy in to get chips for when it comes out.
Okay. I don't like that. All right. That makes no sense. Sorry? I could see if it was actually, within reason, but if it was actually there to play.
Here's another thing. It's been developed since 2012. It's been over 12 years yet, and it still isn't out yet.
So the odds of it coming out are slim to none.
It's not even happening. They just keep releasing designs of it, and people are still buying into it. Mm. There's a whole subreddit to Star Citizen, and it's filled with people talking about the ships.
I must really like their ships.
Apparently everyone wants to play Star Trek.
I don't know. I would never got into Star Trek, so I can't.
I'm an avid player of Star Citizen, and admittedly, I tend to go overboard with it. A few months ago, during a sale, I impulsively spent our saved down payment for a house virtual spaceships. Understandably, she was furious and temporarily left. I realized my mistakes and apologized and took on an extra job to replenish our savings. I'm close to restoring our financial status to its original state, though it will take another 6 months to fully recover, not accounting for my personal debt. As part of reconciling, she asked me not to purchase any more spaceships for 6 months. Initially, this seemed reasonable, but over time, I've come to view it as somewhat excessive. Fuck you! You spent a down... I'm not even done reading this, and it's irritating. He spent a down payment on a house, on a digital ship he can't even use.
It's called addiction. It's just called addiction. Like, he's addicted to it, and he can't say no to buying these things. He needs mental help.
I can understand, like, it's a certain games where it's like, oh, I need this. Like, I need this. It's like something you really want, or it's like something there, and it's like, oh, okay, it's like $30. $5,000 for a game that's not even out yet.
But when you're addicted to something, you gotta understand, like,
oh, I know,
it's like this is a need, and it's really impulse. It's like an impulse buy, and it's too late to go back. I don't
know. Despite this, I've recently bought a few more spaceships, and she discovered it. Now considering leaving me for good, I thought that by nearly restoring the savings I spent, I made amends for my actions. I generally enjoy collecting spaceships in the game. She's also concerned about my credit score and other financial issues, but I'm confident I can rectify those in the coming years. Given that I've already managed to recover most of our savings through extra work, I'm struggling to understand if I'm in the wrong for breaking what now seems like an arbitrary promise, or if your action to leave me over what I consider a primary hobby is unjustified. I think I slurred my words there a bit.
Okay, so when you make a promise to someone, especially your significant other, you have to try everything in your power to keep that promise. You made that promise. And her promise wasn't something that was stupid. They're trying to get a house. They're trying to start a life. You're supposed to, keep that promise when you're with somebody. So, yeah, he's an asshole who needs to get help.
Apparently, the $5,000 he spent beforehand, this is like a separate amount of money he saved up and spent even... I'm trying to see here. He removed the post before the verdict was rendered for this, but based on the comments that were caught by this person who put into this, it was confirmed he's the asshole.
Well, yeah, because he did what he did. You can't... I don't know. You can't just think that that's okay.
I'm just like I can understand some things, and I'll be the first one to state this. Like, when you have an addiction, it's hard to kick it, but at the same time, if you know you have an addiction, I think you should put safeguards on yourself. And if you have a significant other as well, I think they should be in charge of the finances. If you're gonna have this like gambling addiction, I think that is something that should happen. But here's one of the top posts right here from Every Caterpillar 945. You're the asshole. Here, I fixed it for you. I'm a passionate gambler. One night, I gambled all our mutual savings for a down payment away. She was pissed, and we agreed on me working extra shifts to pay back the savings and not to gamble for at least 6 months. I paid back the savings and are now gambling again like nothing happened. And I didn't betray her trust by gambling our savings away in the first place. Now she doesn't trust me anymore and wants to leave me, and I have no idea why. Also, my credit sucks now and I have personal debts while spending money on gambling again. Why doesn't she want a future with me anymore? What else can we...
Oh, I wonder why.
What else can she want than a dude with debt, bad credit, and a gambling addiction who already gambled away your mutual savings once? I'm a catch, but she somehow doesn't see it this way.
I'm a catch.
Doesn't see it this way. Why? Oh my god, I love
that.
So
that person pretty much put it in...
They put it in normal English.
Yeah, instead of saying I was obsessed with this game, it is gambling. That's basically the same thing.
This right now, I believe that thing right now with gambling, especially with this is not even allowed. I think if this was made nowadays, this wouldn't have been made. There are literal acts in place now with gaming. If they involve any type of gambling, it has to be warranted. There's now safeguards. You can't gamble anymore in video games without being an adult. And this dude, it's not even for an out game yet. And he responds to this with, it is not gambling because I own the ships. You don't own the ships. You don't even get to play the game
Yeah,
yet.
you don't actually have the ships to play the game. You're just getting these ships to what? For years and years sit there and just stare at them on your computer screen? It's I understand, like, loving artwork, like, kind of like that, but, like, you own that in physical form.
Or even, digital artwork, too, where you can, like...
And that actually, artwork will actually accumulate money down the road, too. So you're actually putting an investment. This is not an investment. It is for a game that is never going to come out.
And on top of that, to back up your point about the art getting better, when Van Gogh or...
Van Gogh,
or or half the painters. Like, let's go to Mona Lisa.
Wow, you can't really talk today, can you?
My mouth is dry. Can you have my water? Let's go with the Mona Lisa, for example, here. When that probably was made, it wasn't worth that much. Probably like a couple dollars of nowadays currency. Nowadays, it's worth, what, 2-3 million alone? Maybe more.
Oh, it's more than that. Like, the Mona Lisa, there's only one.
That's what I mean. It's like... And you can even use that artwork. If, let's say you buy a PNG off a digital shop, you can use that for anything. Tumblrs, art walls, D&D pictures. You name it, you can use it for it. You can't use these ships.
No, they're not. Not if there's no game to use them in.
Exactly. And I don't even know how he bought these. The game does... There's a market, apparently, what I'm gathering here, there's a market on the webpage of the game where people can buy early stuff for
it. I think that's more on the game, like the people who made the game. They're basically just trying to get people to put in money for nothing. They're the like game, ripping. They're basically ripping them off. If they're never going to come out with the game itself.
Some people here, from what I can tell. Okay, someone actually figured out the full amount. He spent in this action alone. He spent $15,000. Not $5,000. He spent $15,000 this time of their mutual savings. That was for a down payment on a house. Now I don't know where this house is, but that's $15,000 they spent. And someone commented saying, $15,000 on a video game? He's lucky she didn't stab him. Because if that was me...
I mean, she just left him, so, I mean, she could have really...
If that was me, I think I would have went scorched earth on them. I don't know about anyone else, but I probably would have killed them. I don't know about anyone else here.
Killing's a bit harsh.
Okay, fine. I would probably go scorched earth, though. Because if that's $15,000 of my money... I would probably get police involved and all that stuff. Even technically, though, they are together, so that would be considered marital assets.
No, they're not married. They're fiancés. When you're a fiancé, it's not marital asset. You don't accumulate marital assets until you're actually married. And then everything you accumulate while you're married is considered marital assets. So, like...
He only says significant other, though. That's why you don't know if they're fiancé or not.
Okay, so they might just be partners. It might not even be. They might just be living together. And depending on the state, depends on if they have anything that's to do with the after so long your common-in-law. I know in Pennsylvania where we live, they don't have it.
No, it's I think some like a handful of states have that kind of thing still.
Mm-hmm. Common law ones. Like we don't have it, but there are states that do. So if you have that, then yes, it can be considered marital asset, but
you know, if I was in a situation, though, I would have been like, okay, you want to make this right with me? Give me the password to your account. I'm selling those ships.
To the highest bidder.
There is a photo of this, but I'll show it here in a bit to you, Mom. But, this was on January 3rd. On the 11th, let's see here. Yeah. On the 11th, so that'd be 8 days later, he made another post. Let's see here. 31 male. Can I rebuild trust with my girlfriend after gaming addiction ruined our apartment plan?
So it's not even a house; it's an apartment.
Apparently, even though he said it was a down payment on a house, right here.
I'm confused.
You and me both, because
you're the one who picked out the story, so
because it's a good story. I just don't know if he's talking. Unless they're talking about they're going to a condo.
That's true, because you do buy condos.
Condos are like, for those of you who don't know what a condo is, which I doubt, but just to clarify,
I was gonna say a lot of people know what a condo is.
I've seen people not know what
townhouses too. You buy those.
Yeah,
condos and townhouses. They're like grouped together house. Like a condo, it could be like first floor, second floor, third floor is a condo. Like
I've seen people not know what like CDs are though, and DVDs and that kind of stuff. So it's like I think you have.
You just don't want to go there with me.
No, you could bring a 8-track or 8-track.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Okay. So on January 11th, this was the new post. His girlfriend is 35. He is 31. I'm facing a crisis I never expected. My girlfriend and I, so they weren't married.
Okay, so they were girlfriend.
But
Okay.
they had mutual savings they had together.
Okay, so it was a proper okay, I got it.
Yeah,
we got it.
My girlfriend and I had plans to move to a better apartment. I jeopardized our dream by spending our savings on Star Citizen, a video game. This incident made me realize that I might be battling a gaming addiction and impulsive spending. You think dropping 15K on a game is not normal?
No.
The most I've dropped on a game.
Like, addiction isn't something to joke about either, to be technical, because it's not. It's hard. It's like any other addiction.
The reason I think it's funny from this angle is we're looking on the outside, but as you've seen people deal with addiction to certain things. And I think it's because
people don't take gaming as
seriously.
An addiction. They don't take it seriously, but it is just like everything else is. Like, if you get addicted to something, addictive behavior is going to affect your life. It's going to affect every aspect of it.
There is a literal thing out there that's now being recognized, it's like the WoW addiction, World of Warcraft, where people who start playing World of Warcraft get so addicted they neglect food, water, showers, their loved one. There's actually been cases that I've heard about. I don't know if these are true or not, but I've heard that there was like some people who like just live in a basement, not even seeing sunlight, and are down there for days on end with no food or anything. Just keep playing WoW.
There's people who kill themselves over video games, so I mean,
yeah, I think the reason
sometimes I worry about your blood pressure when you're
playing. I'm stopping playing the rage games. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, horror games you can't go out to me for. It's like watching a horror movie.
I don't always watch those.
No, that would be someone else. Let's see. Despite her initial forgiveness and a clear agreement to not buy any more in-game items for 6 months while replenishing our savings, I failed to stick to our plan. This breach of trust led to a major argument, especially after I refused her suggestion to sell my gaming account. Coincidentally, she left. We haven't spoken since. This situation has hit me hard, making me see how my gaming habit has turned from a hobby into a destructive force in my life. I'm struggling with the realization that my actions have not only damaged my relationship, but are also affecting my financial stability as well as my credit score, which is now in jeopardy. I don't even want to know how low his credit score is.
It has to be pretty bad. And credit scores are very hard to
They're
work
hard to,
on.
or
the
even
smallest thing affects them.
Or even get a credit score, because you have to first get yourself in debt to get a credit score, then get yourself out of it. And it's like,
if you have no credit, they don't like you at all.
Exactly. That's sadly my case.
Like, if you have no credit to them, you're not worth anything.
But even if you have bad credit, though, you're even worse at some point.
Well, it depends. Like, if you have bad credit, you can fix your credit and become better. If you have no credit, you literally have to pay for a charge card. You have to put money into actually working on your credit, and that has to be something you want to do.
I personally am just the guy who just wants to pay outright and be done with something. That's kind of my mindset, but it might be because I just don't want to take a risk with a credit card. Because there is a chance as well with...
You can get into debt.
And scamming.
Yes.
There's been a lot more cases of people's credit cards getting charged.
Ah.
Because they do it to pay for something online. So it's like... the most painful part is recognizing how much I love her and the extent of the turmoil I'm in. I'm earnestly seeking advice on how to address my addiction and possibly salvage my relationship.
I'm pretty sure your relationship's gone. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say now, this is gonna sound mean. And I know, as someone who does play video games, this is gonna sound mean for me and weird, but there's a fine line between it being a hobby and it getting this bad. And if you're gonna put the game over someone else, you need to stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that there are times, yes, if you're playing let's say it's middle of the night, you got home from work, you're tired, and let's say you're married, your wife comes in, she's like, hey, let's watch a movie, and you're like, well, I had plans to game with my friends tonight, do you want to watch it this day instead? That more is understandable, you know what I mean? Because that might be your way to unwind if you had a stressful day, instead of a movie. But if it's the point where it's like, no, I don't want to do that, I'm going to go drop my entire savings on a ship, then that's not good.
No. But he has to figure that out.
He has to...
himself.
I mean, he is on the right path. He is admitting he has a problem. The first step is admitting the problem. The second step is dealing with it. It's like alcoholics. They have to admit they are one, and then they have to move on to trying to get rid of it and all that.
It's a long process. It's a hard process to try to stop.
Any type of addiction.
Yeah. And it is an addiction, and a lot of people need to realize you can judge somebody, but until you walk a mile in their shoes, don't be judging them.
Like, anything can be an addiction. I mean, you name it, that could probably be addiction for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a couple comments here. I'm going to read like two of these. So let me get this straight. This is by Gen Duke, by the way. I think. It's Jen and then D-O-U-K. So let me get this straight. 1. You stole her money to buy Pixel ships. 2. She forgave you as long as you stopped buying Pixel ships. 3. You kept buying Pixel ships. 4. You refused to fix the problem by selling off your Pixel spaceship. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. According to what I gathered, you can resell these.
Okay. Probably not for as much, but...
Actually, from what I can gather here, it works kind of like a stock market thing in a sense. Where
oh, it's like buying and selling.
Yeah, some ships that...
Okay.
According to what I gather here, some people have bought ships that are like... When it first came out, they're like $100, $200, and sold them later when they got really pricey because they weren't worked on anymore. So these were exclusive, like, first stage ships or something like that.
Okay.
But this is still a digital thing, and he's not going to sell these, though.
Yeah, because probably most people don't want them.
You refuse to fix your problem by selling off your Pixel spaceships. 5. She realized you love Pixel spaceships more than her and left for good. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, but she shut of you. But she shut of you.
What? Grammar people.
You see that?
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna read this how I think it is, okay? So this is my interpretation. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, but she's sick of you. She's never coming back. If she did, she still resents you. The child response would be to keep sending money you don't have to start Citizen. The moral response would be to sell your account, send her the amount you owe her after you stole her savings, and use the rest to seek help. That's what I'm getting from this, getting from his broken grammar. I think that is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if he feels guilty about it and he wants to even try to slightly rectify what he's done,
I would sell him.
I would sell him and take that money and put it back, give her money from whatever she put in it. Because if both of them were literally putting in, you wouldn't give her the whole thing back because you both were putting in. But she does deserve her money back.
All right, this is straight up just... He literally took her money.
Mm-hmm.
It was their money, but it's like you took
Instead of thinking about
the bigger picture.
he decided that, that was more important, and he lost the love of his life because he didn't think before he decided to spend it all. So, you want to fix it somewhat. Like, I doubt she'll ever come back to him, but
Oh no, I think she's. I mean, this. I've never been in a relationship, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But if you're building a relationship, there has to be a foundation of trust.
mm-hmm.
And if you shatter that trust, you can't just go back in like nothing happened.
No, it's gone. Once you've done it, if that person's willing to forgive you, don't take that for granted, because it's hard to forgive someone for doing something that so if that person's willing to forgive you, you should be working on trying to be a better person and make it better.
And prove
but
you're worth that
yeah,
person.
and not do the opposite, which is to do the same exact thing, because eventually they're not going to want to deal with it anymore.
I would like to say this applies to both sides. People, it's not just like one half, like everything.
Yeah, like to me, relationships are a two-way street. There's two people. You gotta work together.
It's my opinion, if I was in one, it'd be a 2 yes, 1 no situation. It's kind of like something I would go by. Unless it was something like, what type of, like, if I want to prepare like an engagement ring or do something in secret to surprise them, then it's what would they like? Go to their friends.
Yeah, things like that. But I mean,
okay, here's another thing. Someone actually went through his post history from Whoop Throwaway Time. Dude, I'm looking at your post history. You are in full-on denial about your spending/gaming addiction. You 1000% have an issue after you spent $15K in 6 months on an optional purchase for a mobile game. I don't even know if it's going to be a mobile game. It's still in development. There's no way you can salvage the relationship without first addressing this issue. Even then, the chances are low that she'll take you back. If anything, you need to do this for yourself and your future. Do what you have to do. Do you want to have bad credit, be alone, be in debt to a game 10 years from now? You need to go cold. You need to go cold turkey with this game. Go cold turkey with this game. Sell your accounts and chips. Lock yourself out of your account and go to therapy.
Yep. But he has to make that decision. No one can make it for him but himself.
That's the thing too. It's like, also going cold turkey straight out is also really hard for people. So it's like, they need to admit it first and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason we have stages, people. He did this apparently, resisting the urge to buy more ships. Same day, a couple hours later, the repeat sales are making quite difficult to leave the old credit card holstered. I can't be the only one. I too like that we each have a second chance, though. Apparently, he was trying to resist the urge to buy more ships. And the comments are basically them saying, don't buy more ships, close the account, sell the account, lock the card if you have to. Because if this is a problem that bad, like I said, you need to admit it, and then you need help. You need to seek a actual doctor or therapist. I'm one who, I personally am always on the fence about therapists, because one hand it's nice to have them, but they're also like, you gotta find the right one, and plus they're expensive sometimes. So it's never easy to find one, but that's my opinion.
I agree.
Okay, so there's one more update here. Well, 2 updates. And it's basically him coming together and understanding himself. One was, hey, I ruined my life over a video game. He did this on the 18th of February. It's all starting to come together for me. I essentially ruined my life over a video game. I'm in a massive unrecoverable debt. My girlfriend left me. My parents are refusing to speak to me. I have constant anxiety about my life falling apart. I'm going to lose my job. I might lose my apartment. I haven't spent any more money on games in a bit. I don't know, sorry. This is so disorganized. I just need to vent. And then, okay, let's take a guess. How much in debt do you think he is?
Oh, I don't even know. It sounds like a lot.
You want to take a ballpark?
I don't even know.
when someone asked him how much of debt he's in, he posted, "I'm $61,000 in credit card debt with no end in sight."
No, not for that much. You wouldn't be.
So he has no family, maybe even no job, and it was over an addiction. And this is why I said it's destructive. Anything's destructive addiction. I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I felt like if he were to acknowledge this sooner and didn't do what he did, he possibly could have tried to avoid this. Like, you need to recognize the signs, or someone needs to call you out.
Basically, it's like somebody needs to do an intervention.
And that's why it exists. You know, it's like, that's why addictions, like, there's help, there's interventions. Okay. Our next story. Trying to pick a good one.
Shouldn't you have these prepared?
I do have them paired. I still pull them up though, because I can't really just have multiple tabs of red things because then it glitches out. I will read the title, and then we'll go from there. Am I the asshole for not helping to defend my group project partner?
Depends on what you're defending them for.
Uh, Against our professor who wants her to fail for not contributing.
Oh, she didn't contribute?
The title that's the title. Now, I'm just going to state this now. If we were to go off the title alone, he would not be the asshole. But the verdict, and this is where I'm going to say this now. This is on r/am I the devil.
Okay, so this is going to get spicy.
Oh, extremely spicy.
Trying to find things.
I'm trying to type it in.
Mm.
Okay, I got it right here. I, 20-year-old male, am in a computer science course for a college on operating systems. So this is already going to be juicy. I was assigned this random group project partner, 20 female, and we were working on a project for most of the semester. We have decided to organize the project in a way that she could do core parts and I would do plug-in modules that depend on her core. She would basically make the base code and he would add on code to make it do stuff.
Okay.
However, since she did her part in a convoluted way, it was hard for me to understand it, and when I couldn't get it to work, she had to do them as well. How did she not contribute that? Okay.
That means she did work. You just don't understand them, and that's your own fault.
Like, I will admit, every coder, every person out there does coding or any type of thing with that, they have their own language with it.
I'll say I know nothing about coding, so
I've studied a bit of coding because I find it fascinating. Do I understand it most of the time? No, I'm trying to though. And the reason is that everyone has their own way. It's like talking. If you talk to someone, let's say from England and someone from America, you would see they pronounce words different, say certain phrases different, that kind of thing, and that's how coders work. So when you have people pair up, it's also like you have to kind of find codes that match. It was hard for me to understand it, and when I couldn't get it to work, she had to do them as well. We got into an argument, and she claimed it wasn't convoluted. I then paid a tutor who advised me and said he could help, but the project would be easier to do in a Rust compared to a C++. Rust is I guess best to describe a Rust is, it's a more simpler form of coding. You give it prompts, and it will try to find the best way to word it. C++ is basically what runs computers and everything like that. It's the complex system that gets a computer to run.
okay.
if I'm remembering coding right here. Don't hold me into this, chat.
Hold him to it. It's fine. It's great. It's
No, please don't listen to my evil mother.
It's great.
She agreed to redo the project in Rust if I converted everything we had so far myself, and she helped out with the last part. We got permission from the professor to do it in Rust instead. The tutor then helped me convert her code to Rust, which counted as my part. However, when it finally came to doing the last part, she said she had no time to work with me on it as she didn't know Rust well enough and had some ballet competition that weekend of the deadline. She offered to finish it in the C++ version, but I told her it is okay. I then got it done with the help of the tutor and submitted the project. Since the Rust code was all written by me in the statement of contribution, I had to state that I did all the code and she contributed to the design process and report. However, the professor took that as her not contributing, and as only the code is actually graded and decided to give her a 0 on the project, which would lead her to failing the class as it is 70% of her grade. She now wants me to come talk to the professor with her and is upset at me for refusing. The way I see it... Oh, one of you just farted. One of the dogs just farted.
How do you know it wasn't your cat? Why do you always go and blame my dogs? Cat's right there.
I don't know. I thought the cat could make this one. The way I see it is not really my problem. I don't want to face any trouble, and she did already tell the professor that she had done the older CC code we didn't submit. Am I the asshole here? She seems pretty upset at me and seems to blame me when it was the professor's decision. Okay. Do you want to take the first crack at this, or should I get my rant off first?
She did work. She put in work. He should have stood up for her.
Here's the thing, too, is like, the professor gave her a 0. He's claiming he did. Here's the thing, he's not even doing the fucking work. And I'm swearing her a bit, but he got the tutor to do it. He literally says right here.
Yeah, he got the tutor to do it.
The tutor helped me convert her code, and which counted as my part. I then had her help me finish the code. Had the tutor help me finish the code.
So basically, you took the code she already worked on because you didn't know how to do it. Went to the tutor changed the code, and then basically helped you finish the code for you because you literally didn't know what you were doing, and the person who was with you did. So I'm sorry. Yes, he's the asshole.
This is such a bullshit, and it probably doesn't help either. This is a field that has like sexism in it too. Like
that doesn't surprise me because that's everywhere. It really is.
Yeah, so it probably doesn't help either that maybe the professor is a bit sexist because it says here they told the professor this already, what was happening, and all this, that it was being converted. If I was a professor, I would have been like, okay, hand me the C++ code that she did, hand me the Rust code, and I would grade both of them as a 1 unit since you're converting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let me talk to the tutor, too, while you're at it.
Yeah. But no, he just straight up said, oh, we're only going to go off what you submitted, and I'm just going to fail her. It's like, no, that isn't fair. The professor is an asshole, the tutor is an asshole for not stepping in, and the kid's an asshole. The only one who's not an asshole here is the victim.
Pretty much.
And the worst part is, I'm looking through here. I can't find anything on OP's reply or anything. Yeah, there's like nothing here. Here's, oh my god. I found a comment.
Okay.
I've used both Rust and C++ and found Rust easier. C is easy but lacks functionality. It's entirely shaped the outcome, hence why she was credited for the design. You know how to use the coding format. I thought he couldn't use the coding format. If you know how to use the coding format you guys are using, then use the coding format. You don't need to be like, well, I'm not going to do it in that. I'm going to convert it to this. Tutor, help me. I'm taking all credit. Like, what the... Oh, my... The professor and the girl didn't know about the tutor.
Oh, so he hid that little gem.
He hid that from both of them and everything.
Which doesn't surprise me, because if he wants the good grade, he's going to step all over anybody to get it.
Yeah, this is on lines of what I've seen with people using like cheat sheet stuff for like medical school, and then when they're under pressure, they blame it on someone else. If you can't figure out how it works, like I can understand like doing a little bit of cheating in high school or elementary school a bit because it's not as important back then as much as like if you're going to college for something. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't cheat.
No, you shouldn't cheat. But let's say it's I'm trying to think of a class. What if it's science class and you wrote down some of the periodic elements because you couldn't memorize all of them?
Okay.
Like that would be fine. It technically would be considered cheating.
But you're trying to help yourself.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like that kind of stuff's fine. But if you're in college for a major that involves like coding, you shouldn't do this. You should learn it. And if you struggle, yes, seek help if you can't understand it. Tutors exist for a reason. Don't make your tutor do all the work and then throw your group mate under a bus. That's straight off gonna take off everybody. And furthermore, that can get you expelled in most colleges if it's found out you're cheating like that.
Mm-hmm. But the whole he's gonna pick the guy over the girl, it happens a lot.
Yeah. And oh my god. Okay, so apparently he says he couldn't get the code to work with him in C++, so that's why he wrote to Rust. But yet, if he knows how to work with C++, he should be able to use C++ himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Boy, this one really upsets you, doesn't it?
It does, because I had group members like this in high school. I literally got in trouble with a teacher back in high school, and she gave all the credit. You remember the teacher. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to. But they gave me a almost failing grade until I proved I'm the one who did the entire project. Like, that is one thing that will always tick me off is when someone takes credit. And doesn't give credit to the person who actually did all the damn work.
It's an ongoing thing.
So, yeah, Okay, ready for your next story?
Sure, bring it on.
Am I the asshole for playing favorites with my grandkids? And when confronted by my daughter-in-law telling her that it is due to her. Okay. We're just getting juicy ones, aren't we? I would like to stress this right now. My mother here does not play favorites.
No.
As she says, she loves us all equally, and hates us all equally.
I say I hate you all equally.
Also,
I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Exactly. Don't think she's not loving. She's very loving. She was there for my entire life, I know. Okay. This post about my son and Amy. My daughter-in-law. Okay, that already tells me you don't like her. Because normally if you like your daughter-in-law or your son-in-law, you'll call them, your son or your daughter. You do it.
Yeah, I do it with Devin, yeah.
They've been married for about 10 years and have 2 kids. They are 10 and 6. At the beginning, I really tried to get along with her, but she made it difficult. She is not very sociable and always puts her own mother overseeing her husband's side of the family. This is really apparent with holidays and the kids. She always chooses to go to her mom's for holidays, even if I do it on an early day or late day. If I offer to babysit, she always tells me she asked her mom and she would get back to me. The time I do babysit or get to hang out with the grandkids, she is criticizing everything I do. Usually saying that that's not how her mom or how she does it. At the beginning, my son was trying to fix this but gave up. We see him separately from his wife and kids. I truly don't understand it. And I have asked if I did anything wrong, but no answer on that. I gave up on trying when my other son had kids. It was so much better, and I have a great relationship with my other daughter-in-law and the kids. The kids are 9, Ava is my step-granddaughter, and 4, grandson. I gave Ava a family necklace that was my mother's. She loves it. And I've been wearing it everywhere according to my son. This also includes school, which started this issue. My daughter-in-law called me up and asked why Ava got a family necklace, but her daughter, 10, didn't get one. I told her I just wanted to give it to Ava. She got angry and told me I was playing favorites and that her daughter is older, so she should have gotten the necklace. I told her that, yes, I am playing favorites and it is due to her. I point out that I do not know her daughter because of her. That her kids will not be getting any of the family stuff because of her. This was a huge argument. She called me a jerk and wanted me to give her kid a necklace. I am doubting myself on. Okay, I did not think it would go that way. This is a interesting one.
Okay. I could see why she's doing it, because if the daughter-in-law is treating her like she's not there, and like her mom's more important and you don't matter and you don't deserve this and you don't deserve that because you're not my mother, you're not my family. I can see where she's coming from, but at the same time I feel that she shouldn't have given the necklace to either one, because you're also you're not hurting the daughter-in-law, you're hurting the kid. And that child is just being dragged wherever the parents take you. Exactly. They have to live how the parents are living. So as a child, you're just being like, okay, well, I don't see this grandma because we go to this one. Growing up, I spent more time with my mother's mother, which would be my grandma on my mom's side, than I did my father's mother, because my mom, I don't really think, cared that much for the family, because my grandfather was very strict, very, I say mean, like he was very, you just didn't do anything. Children were supposed to be seen, not heard. He was from that generation.
One of those old stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of like that for us, but that grandma didn't treat me any different than her other grandchildren. I mean, she didn't give them things and didn't give, she would make sure she gave me things. So I think as a grandmother, like, I'm not one. I don't plan on being one.
we have come to the conclusion. This is why I've said this before. The bloodline is ending with my generation in this family.
And I'm fine. I don't need to be a grandparent, but
most parents are like, I want grandbabies.
I wouldn't do that. Like, I feel that being a grandparent, you got to remember you're not just hurting the mom who you're angry with. You're taking that anger out on them too, and your son, because he tried and he couldn't get it. So how are you treating, so I don't know, like,
this is a iffy one.
Yeah, because I could see both. I mean, I can see her point of view of wanting to do it because she's hurt.
See, this one I believe is an actual real Reddit post, because of the fact of language used, and more importantly of how this is structured, because I've seen fake posts, I've seen real posts. And this one seems real, and the more important fact I want to say involving this, if it's real, I don't know how much this is embellishing. Because we're only getting this from the grandma's side.
Yeah, you don't know what, like, because it's a possibility the grandmother did something to the daughter-in-law. She may have treated her some way,
There was one story I read. I'm not going to direct anyone to this post, because it has been requested not to be mentioned in the way of, like, the title or the poster. So I'm going to honor their wishes. But this mother, the son's mother, so the husband of this wife, best describe it, the daughter-in-law had a child with the husband, who was her son. The mother-in-law was very strict and wanted them to come see her straight after the hospital, even with all this stuff going on. The kid was sick. They were not the right color. They couldn't feed. The mother was not producing milk. So it was a very bad thing, but she said to them, I want you to come see me right now. And when they didn't, she threw this big fit. And when they were at home one day, she came to their house, banged on their door, and was basically making a huge ruckus, threatening cough, saying she had grandparent rights, and all this stuff. And
there's no such thing as grandparents' rights.
No, there isn't. The only grandparent right is, there's grandparent rights if it's like both parents are no longer available.
Yeah, if they're gone, passed away, or if like
rehab.
they have some kind of condition they can't take care of their children. But yeah, grandparents' rights aren't a thing that they can hold.
And this mother-in-law basically said on Reddit, like, made up, embellished everything, saying she just wanted to see her daughter-in-law, and all this. And then when the daughter came out, she actually provided evidence with her post to mainly get some sightseeing. She is being unreasonable for this, because they've been getting worn down because not only the mother-in-law told the father and his siblings, and they were all going after them. But after this all, last time I checked that post, it was they changed states, changed everything, because it got so bad that she was squatting in their house and actually threw something through their window to get into the house. Because she did a post saying, my friend has a squatter living in her house. She did it on legal advice. The mother-in-law did, and it's a real post. I don't know where it is exactly, but it was in legal advice. And it was, my friend has a person squatting in her house. It was in North Carolina or somewhere. What's the process going about getting rid of somebody who's a squatter in your house? And it led me to the conclusion that she's going to squat in their house because they're trying to sell it and move.
So you can't leave. Well, see, the whole entire squatters' rights and stuff, that's a whole other ball game there.
That depends on the state, the area, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And temperature. If it's winter and in certain places in the winter.
Oh, you can't remove someone.
But if it's summer, you have an easier time. But yeah, so in my opinion, based on the context, not the asshole. I'm gonna go.
If it's really the way she portrays it, she's not an asshole for doing it. I feel in a way she should have maybe went about it a bit of a different way because, like I said, you're forgetting you're not. You may think you're hurting the daughter-in-law, but you're also hurting the children. Like you got to remember, there's not just one person; there's several.
Yeah. Based on the comments, I couldn't find anything about any type of update or any comment she made. People asked her what happened. I got no reply from that. That post was 2 hours ago, though. So, yeah. All right. Next post. This one, I love the title of this one. Am I the asshole for telling my wife to take time off work if she wants time for herself?
Okay, I'm not going to judge yet. I don't know what anything's being said.
I was like waiting because you were giving me that look like you were thinking. And I was like, you got something you want to say on the title here? My wife, 40 female, and I, 39 male, have been married for 12 years and have 2 kids, 9 and 7. We both work full-time, but I've got promoted about 3 months ago that required a change to my work hours. I used to have the same standard Monday through Friday hours as my wife. Something like 9 to 5 or something like that.
Probably.
But my new rule has been working 10-hour shifts Thursday through Sunday. Ooh.
So it's like you work 4 10s, then you have 3 days off.
Thursday,
so
Friday, Saturday,
it would be like
someone else we know.
Yeah, does. You know, you work
my father.
Yeah, it does that.
And I mean, I think I prefer that kind of method because it gives you 3 days off. Hang on, guys. There's something going on. Alright. Here we go. My wife, 40 female, and I have been married and I, 39 male, have been married for 12 years and have 2 kids. Sorry about the break, everybody. Something was happening in the background. We both work full-time, but I got promoted around 3 months ago that required a change to my work hours. I already said all this. This promotion came with a pretty substantial pay raise as well. My wife and I discussed how my change in hours would affect our family's day-to-day lives. We both agree it would be worth it for the additional income. I use my time off on Monday through Wednesday to do pretty much all the family shopping, errands, cleaning, laundry, and have even been able to make substantial progress on some long put off home projects.
Okay.
I also cook dinners and prep weekly lunches for the kids and my wife. The additional income is being noticeable as well, as we haven't had this much in our savings account in years. That must be one real hefty pay.
Yeah, he must be making some pretty good money there.
Because as far as I know, like everything still costs like an arm and a leg nowadays.
Mm.
A few weeks ago, my wife started griping about my new job. She hates that I'm working all weekend because that means she's with the kids the whole time. She complains that she goes from working all week to solo parenting on weekends. Both our kids are in activities. Both our kids are in activities on weekends, so she's been doing all that by herself as well. We talked about ways to ease some of the weekend stuff from her, such as getting a babysitter, carpooling to kids' activities, taking the kids to their grandparents, etc. But she still complains about that all the legwork for those things will be done by her because I'm at work. She says she feels like she never has any time for herself since my hours got changed. To try and alleviate this, I suggest I bit my tongue. Oh, that's fun. To try and alleviate this, I suggested that she makes plans with friends to do something on Monday or Tuesday night. She tried but got frustrated when her friends were busy those nights and wanted to get together on a weekend. This led to another argument with her telling me that she hates my new job and that I need to look into changing my hours again. I told her that I've been trying everything to help ease the transition with my new job, but all I've been met with is hostility and frustration. I asked her if there's anything more I could do other than changing my hours, and she told me no. She said she hates that she doesn't get a break and that I have 3 days to myself. I started listing off all the ways we've been trying to make things easier and how much more money we are making. And she cuts me off and says the money isn't worth it. I got frustrated and told her if she needs time for herself, she should just use vacation time from work if she's not going to be reasonable and help me find a compromise. She got even more mad and told me I'm an asshole. She made me sleep in the guest room and told me I can't come back to her bed unless I fix this. And for those who don't know, fix this within quotation marks. He's not the asshole.
No, because she's not. Okay, so I can understand it being rough. I mean, I understand that completely because it is hard when somebody switches hours and schedules and times. Like, I switched my whole entire days to nights just to match your father's schedule. So I can understand that, and I understand that it's hard to have to do all the running and take care of the kids and stuff. But at the same time, working a 10-hour shift
is very demanding.
It's very demanding on a person. So for him to have 3 days, but what is he doing in that 3 days? Is she paying? She's saying that he's getting it all to himself, but he's not. He's fixing things in the house. He's trying to do things around the house.
He's doing the family shopping, the errands, cleaning, laundry, and even being able to finish some long put off home projects.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to lighten the load on her. What it is she wants her free time. She wants to go out on the weekends with her friends. She wants to have a good time. And as a parent, you're not going to get that. You're just not.
I'm going to say it right now that the money, too, like, he got such a substantial pay raise that there's
it's not always about money, though. Like, you can't always say that. But at the same time, like, he's trying to do it to better them, and she's not even willing to work with that.
And here's the thing, too, that if she's really overwhelmed, they could plan a holiday together. A vacation. Take some time off.
But she doesn't want it together.
Exactly.
To me, it sounds like she wants free time away from the kids, away from him, away from the house, go out with her friends, do what she wants. I'm sorry, but the moment you have kids,
you're not gonna
good luck with that.
Hell,
just good luck with that.
Your kids are all grown up and you still have them coming to you.
Yes. I'm never not without somebody with a problem.
Exactly. So it's like anyone says, once you become a parent, that's a full-time job. You're never not a parent.
No.
People try to be. They've kicked out their kids when they're 18, cut them off, stuff like that. But once you have a kid, they are yours.
Pretty much. Like, Once you're a parent, you're always a parent for the rest of your life. It doesn't change.
Um. Okay. The extra money is in the category of he did talk about the money. Maybe our kids won't have to take out loans for college, and we can actually retire at 65.
That's another thing she's not looking at either. Like they could retire early. They could, their kids will be going to college and do their thing, and then they can go places and do things. And in the long, you got to look more at the long run, not at the instant gratification of everything.
That's something it's with anything that has like this. You gotta think long term, not just will this benefit me now. Like yeah, you have to think like that, but at the same time, it's like will this benefit me down the road? I'm trying to see if there's any more. People have been giving ideas. He's tried a few of them. Right now, this is something he did say though, and this post was about. This is 5 hours old, but he did say, right now she is not talking to me because the last time I tried something was I suggested to her that maybe she and her friends can book a vacation for themselves, and I stay with the kids and have my parents come over and help me take care of them when I'm at work. She did not like that idea.
See, he's trying.
Like this is.
A lot of men will not say, "Hey, go on vacation with your girlfriend for like a week. Leave me here. It's fine."
Yeah,
I mean, at least he's willing to do that. A lot of men won't do that.
No, not many people step up when you need to step up. Like it's a rare person.
At least he's trying to figure out a way out of it.
Like this, as someone, I don't know how to say. It's like I can understand being frustrated because it's like it feels like you're not getting time because yes, the kids have school. What about during the summers? The kids are home with him on those days too.
Mm-hmm. And maybe she's not even thinking about the fact that maybe he does miss being able to go to their stuff. Because if there's games and stuff, he's giving up seeing his kids go to their games and do all that and grow up. So he can work a better job to give them a better life. To give them the opportunity to go to college and not have to have debt. To, be able to have
a retirement plan.
Yeah, to be able to have a good life for his kids. He's willing to give that up and give up seeing them, because, maybe he liked going to that kind of stuff. Like, she's acting like it's not affecting him.
Here's the thing he said, that he literally took the time. He does weekly prep meals for both his wife and his kids. So I think he does care for his kids a lot. And it probably does hurt him a bit because
if he's doing prep meals and doing the laundry and cleaning the house on his days off and fixing things, I'm sorry, that's trying to help her. I mean, hello.
Like I said, this is a case of I can see nobody's an asshole here. It's understandable on her part for being frustrated, but if she were to look at it long term, I think she would understand it more. But at the same time, it makes sense because it's like.
You don't really know what she's thinking because you're not in her shoes. Like, exactly. With these posts, you're getting one side, you're not getting the full side.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I personally think no assholes here. Everyone has a point. Nobody's in the wrong, really. He's right for wanting to keep the job because the money would be nice. And he is doing finishing up a lot of projects and all that. At the same time, I understand her point of feeling like she doesn't have time anymore because not many people have the ability to go be off on a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's not many people are.
So, in my personal opinion, I don't think there's an asshole in this story. What about you?
I don't think there's really an asshole per se. I mean, like I said,
you don't. To be talked about.
Yeah, they need to figure it out for themselves because, like I said, you can't say which one's right and which one's wrong. Like, do I think she needs to be more understanding? Yes. But at the same time, he's got to understand that she's struggling too. Like, I understand his point of view. I kind of understand hers. I mean, I'm more of a homebody. I don't like to leave. I don't like to do that kind of stuff. So for me, it's like, hey,
this was an okay adjustment. It's just for you, it was you didn't see him as much.
Yeah, that part I don't like. I don't like being with him. I don't like not being able to see him. So for me to switch the schedule for him, because he's trying to make our life better, is fine. So I work at night. I don't work during the day.
And that's why
I changed my nights to tonight so I could spend time with him. Because I get the luxury of working from home. He does not. So I think everything is a compromise, and people just gotta learn how to compromise.
That's the thing too. Is like some people aren't willing to compromise. I feel like in a healthy relationship, and again, I've not been in a relationship. Take what I say with a grain of salt. I have to state this. Communication is a key factor, and compromises are ones that need to be made in a relationship. That's a majority factor of it. From what I've learned from the people around me in their relationships, compromises and understanding is a key factor when you have to. And I believe, even though it's rough, I do think it was a worthy compromise for him to take that shit.
I think so. I mean,
because for his kids to be able to go to college if they want to, or if not, maybe they could take that money and put a down payment on a house. You know?
Like, or they're saving up for a vacation. Like, there's tons of things you can do with that money or fix whatever, and it's hard. It's hard. Any type of change is hard on any type of family, especially, because you got to work together. But it's like both of them have to see the compromise they both have to make.
Exactly. All right. This is our final story of the night, people. I hope you guys have been enjoying this so far. We'll be doing this again next Tuesday. But our final story, I have a good one here. This was posted 11 hours ago.
Oh.
So we've done a 2-hour, 5-hour, and this is 11-hour. Next time, this has mainly been an Am I the Asshole stories coverage. Next time, I'm going to be doing Choosing Beggars, maybe, or Boomer stories with you. Because I believe you'll get a kick out of either one.
Boomer stories? We know I'm not. I'm Gen X, so.
Yeah, the Boomer generation, like Grandma. Grandma's technically in the Baby Boomer generation. Those people we're going to be talking about in there. Because I've told you a couple stories that I found hilarious. And you just look at me confused.
Life is confusing.
Okay. Final story. Am I the asshole for finishing inside my ex by accident?
Wow, we're escalating that quickly. Okay. All right.
I had it. I had this post. I saw this post earlier, and I was like, I'm saving this for the ender of the story. So I'm like, I have to save this story.
So we're not PG-13 in this place. All right.
We're reading stuff off Reddit. None of this is PG-13. If I wanted that, I go to this family Reddit.
Escalation.
My ex and I have known each other for many years. We're both in our mid-20s. And got back together for a hookup last week. We've been broken up for a few years, but reconnected last month. I truly love her and confess that to her. I would 100% marry her, and I'm at a place where I'm ready for a child if it happens. I haven't had sex in a long time, so after a short amount of time, embarrassing I know, I asked her, where should I come? She said, and before she could finish the sentence, I told her I came inside her. She's not on birth control.
Oh, beautiful.
She looked at me and looked shocked. Then the next day, she told me that she's nervous and not sure what to do.
It's called Plan B, love. Plan B.
Abortions, Plan B, there's many
Plan
things.
B.
Yeah.
Plan B will stop it before it comes to the whole abortion thing.
She looked at me and looked shocked. Then the next day, okay. I said, I didn't expect it either, but I'm fully prepared to deal with whatever happens, and I will support her. This happened on cycle day 16. Her cycles are around 27 to 29 days. For those of you who don't know what cycles are, because some people don't understand it, that is the period cycle that women go through.
I love how you act like you know it.
Well, you basically raised me for 10 years alone, so I understand you. I just don't know how long it lasts. That differs on everybody. Yours lasts weeks sometimes.
Depends on who you are.
You just were cursed.
Pretty much.
Okay. Her cycle's on 20. Her app says it was 13 days before her expected period. I read ovulation usually happens on day 14. So I figured we'd be good. But I told her I'd be there no matter what happens. She wanted to take Plan B at first, but I told her it doesn't work if ovulation has passed.
Why would you tell her that? Just take it, just in case.
I researched the same night trying to figure it out, so she didn't take it. I told her the odds aren't high and that I'm here if she needs anything. Am I in the wrong for any of this, or was it both of us? Oh my god.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm just showing you real quick. I'm not lying about this. You see this, right?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go. Unleash.
Okay. Number one, yes, he is in the wrong. It's called a condom. If you knew, you should have wore a condom. Two, to me, it sounds like he's literally trying to push this baby thing because he even said
he's 100% ready for
with
a
your
baby.
baby, and that doesn't. You don't have a right to do that to a woman. And honestly, you should have let
Baby
her
trapping.
go to get the plan B. Because are you telling her no, don't do it because of this? You are not a doctor. You are not a pharmacist. You have no idea if the plan B will work or not. You're just going off of Google. I'm sorry. If I Googled freaking everything, I would have God knows what by now for every symptom I have. So, like, honestly, to me, he literally is trying to trap her in this relationship with a baby.
Yeah,
That's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, I could be wrong. I can't tell you.
I'm getting that too because I will read this again. I truly love her and confess that to her. I would 100% marry her, and I'm at a place where I'm ready for a child if it happens. The thing is, as well, if you are also, I'm just saying that, like, that tells me you wanted to baby trap her with you. Here's the thing, though, motherfucker, and I'm gonna swear this time. There's abortions for a reason. There is birth control. There are all these things. If you
I just feel like
didn't,
he took her rights away from her.
Oh, very much. I would not be surprised if this happened.
Because, like, I think having a baby should be a mutual decision and not, like, I'm not saying it's all a woman's decision. I'm not saying it's all a man's.
It should be both parties.
But if she literally, and in a way, she should have said, hey, condom. She should have not let him touch her without a condom. So in a way, she's kind of in the wrong too. And I'm not saying this is all on him. But at the same time, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing.
Oh, this very much screams of it. Let's see if we can find anything from it. Plan B can be effective within 20 and 72 hours of unprotected intercourse, so she should take it. Don't tell her what to do. I'm seeing nothing from OP.
That's because he knows he's wrong.
Some people are thinking this might be a troll post. I can see that, but at the same time, I can see someone doing this.
I could too. I could see both. I could see someone actually, because I'm sorry. I'm not like man hating because I'm not. I love my husband to death.
You love your sons.
I love my sons. I love my nephew. I love, there's a lot of, I'm not saying I like all men because I do have issues with some because of my life. But I'm sorry. You have no right as a man to take a woman's rights away. She has just as much right to make decisions as a man does. And I could see a man doing this because they feel that they are the ones who get to make the choice. And that's not true. It's ridiculous. I just can't. I can't.
So I found the original post. The original post was in Am I Overreacting? He moved this because he got in trouble on that subreddit. He moved this to Will I Be the Asshole? Public subreddit. So he thinks he's overreacting. Motherfucker.
Is it picking up the train?
It's loud enough that's actually picked up in the mic enough. Goddamn. Welcome to
our train.
Yeah, though. Fun fact. I know it's been picked up in the mic before. We live next to the tracks, which is great sometimes, and other times when you're trying to do phone calls or record audio, this happens. And it's like, fuck. Okay, redo it. But no, I'm just gonna say this now. This dude, I feel, I can see this going both ways, but I'll say it right now. She should have taken Plan B. She shouldn't have
listened to him.
He should have wore a. I'm gonna say this now. I'm a dude, and I never had sex, so I don't know what it's like. But I'm gonna say this now. Wear a fucking condom. If the other person says no, it should be a 2 yes, 1 no situation for kids at all times. If you're drunk off your butt, both of you are, and you don't think about it, that's a different story. That's where Plan B comes in. That's where abortions come in. But if you're both coherent enough, and you're still inside asking, where should I come? Then you pull it out before you come in her.
Like, why were you waiting until the last minute? This should have been discussed before you even started.
Exactly. And then the whole, like...
You should have been like, oh, I'm not on birth control. And they should have been like, oh, should we get a condom? Well, we don't have one. Well, if that's the case, I'll pull out. Where would you like me to go? Like, it's a conversation. And I'm sorry, but you should always be able to feel safe enough to have that conversation with your significant, whether or not it's a one night stand or whatever you want to do. I am not saying for anybody, everybody's preferences are their own, but you should always be in communication with the other person you're with. You're not by yourself. This is not a one person rodeo. You are with someone else. You should have that communication.
Unless it's your left hand. And for him,
if you're visiting Rosie and you're in her, you know, 5 sisters, go right ahead. But
yeah, no, this is he should have worked. I'm gonna say now they're both in the wrong. He's majorly in the wrong though. If
he was wrong with the whole Plan B thing, that right there that to me makes me feel like
he planned this.
He may not have planned it. I'm not saying he did it like, you know, knew exactly what he's doing, but I think that he used the opportunity for his own gain. Like, he used it for himself.
So, I just found out he posted the story in 3 different subreddits. I don't know if that contributes to this being fake or not, but at the same time, like we said, we thought this. I personally think this is real. But I'm reading through the comments. Most people are pulling this up. I'm going to quote this from a tag I can't even fucking read. Because it's ATBFIVNBFI.
Okay.
2 adults, neither one knows about that. Pulling out is not meaningful conception. Most people are saying, you didn't think to pull out? You didn't think to talk to her first? Some people are even saying, you do know Plan B works most of the time, right? And if it doesn't, abortions exist. Oh my god.
He took the opportunity. If this is if it's a true story, he used the situation for his own gain.
I'm gonna not lie right now.
Because that's what he wants. He wants to have
if this is
a kid.
Real,
he wants to be with her because he's still in love with her.
If this is real, this is 100% a controlling, manipulative bastard. I'm gonna state that right now. I know that's like a harsh thing to say apparently nowadays, but I can spot them kind of easily in a sense because this says enough that he's like controlling her in a sense. He's using her panic.
It's a way of control. I'm not saying he's a like psychopath or anything.
No.
By any means.
He's just controlling.
But he's using that, like I said, he's using the opportunity for his own gain and what he wants.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for joining me for Am I the Asshole Post. Did you have some fun listening to these stories?
A couple of them, but a couple of them I wasn't too crazy about.
Well, like I said, I did pick some that I thought would be interesting.
The whole,
If, I'm just going to ask this now. In your opinion, what was your favorite story tonight?
I don't like any of them, like, favorite-wise. You know, like, I feel bad for the people who have to deal
like, which
with
one
this.
out of all of them was the most
interesting?
Yeah, interesting.
I would say probably the grandma one.
Really?
And maybe the one we just did now because I just find that hilarious. But okay.
And so I take it those were kind of more.
Yeah, those were more interesting. I would say they were more interesting to me than
the guy who got in debt over video games.
I mean, that one was okay. That's okay, but like the other one you did about the guy with the cheating, that one kind of like was like I could take it or leave it story.
That one was kind of got to me more.
Yeah, that was more for you than me. I'm like, I don't believe in cheating. I'm not saying I do, but like I don't know.
Well, I hope you all did enjoy this, and anyone watches over on YouTube, if you would like to see these live, these are over on Twitch. Link will be in the description. Every Tuesday, I will be covering a subreddit of different stories. I will be handpicking them. Well, almost every Tuesday. I would like to state again. I am just one guy, and I only have one person with me as well. So at the same time, there are situations that happen where I can't stream. Tomorrow, there might not be a stream. For anyone who's wondering this now, tomorrow's from nothing to everything involving the Satisfactory game that just hit 1.0. There is a chance there will be no stream on that tomorrow. If not, we'll be doing a makeup stream on Monday, doing a makeup from nothing to everything. Thursday is Silent Hill, like I said. So I do hope you guys do enjoy these. And yeah. Next time I'll find One that'll be a little more funny. Or maybe I'll take you to Am I the Devil next, since I found this one in there.
Am I the devil?
Yeah, it's literally a place where it's obvious OP is the asshole. Like, here's another one. Am I wrong for trying to explain to my lesbian friend that her fears for her family are irrational?
If you're gonna open that one up, you might as well do it next week.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you again, Mom, for doing this with me.
Okie
dokie. See you all next time for either tomorrow or Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.